Hi guys, welcome to the Wellness Collective's free yoga on Saturday. My name is Sam. If you don't know, I'm the yoga instructor here, one of the yoga instructors there. And today I thought we'd start for the next few weeks, I wanted to go through the yamas. And basically in yoga, there's this book that all of your training is comes from, and it's called the Yoga Sutras. And the Yoga Sutras was a book that was written about 300 to 500 BC by this guy named Patanjali Jois. And it just, sorry, I just need to take it just offers guidance to attain stillness of the mind. And that's where they believe that your true self could be revealed. It's basically a path to enlightenment, because when your true self is revealed, you're one with divine and all that. And this book just introduces an 8-limbed or an 8-step path to get there, basically. And the 8 limbs are, the first of the limbs is the yamas. And the yamas are basically the moral obligations that, we agree to and we uphold in society, and with others and with ourselves. And then the next one is called the niyamas, which are basically observances or spiritual practices that you practice with yourself to, maintain your spirituality and maintain your divinity and all of that. The next part is the asana, which is the part of yoga that most people know, which is the physical postures, the movement, the stretches, the different poses. Those are all asanas. Then there's the pranayama, which is also the breath work exercises that people do. So the different types of breathing, the fire breath, the nadi shona, the alternate nostril breath. There's so many different kinds of pranayamas, but any kind of breath work exercise. Then it's Pratiahara, which is withdrawal or control of the senses. So, and this was believed to be like the bridge between the external limbs, which are like the things that you physically do and physically actively work towards, and the internal limbs, which are more of internal, obviously within you, kind of changes and things that you do. And it's basically just controlling your senses or withdrawing your senses, just so that you can have a different internal experience, basically. So closing your eyes, closing your nose, closing your ears, whatever it may be, just taking those senses away or controlling them. And then the next one is called dharana, which is concentration. And this is before meditation, but it's when you just are focusing in on one specific thing. So whether that's like the candle flame or, a picture or an idea or whatever, you're just focusing in on one thing. That's dharana. And it's supposed to reduce distractions, because that's when you're focused on one thing, you kind of zone out everything around. That's why whenever you're in tree pose or any kind of balancing pose, it's always good to keep your eye focused on a drishti point, which is that one focal point in front of you that helps you maintain your balance. Because when you're focusing on that one thing, you're not focusing on everything else, and you're not focusing on balancing, so your body can just do it. Then the next step is dhyana, which is meditation. And that's just basically where you can sit and your thoughts come and go. You don't follow them, you don't judge them, you don't hold them, they just come and go. And after that, bringing dharana and dhyana, they kind of go together a lot. You can come to Samadhi or enlightenment. And this precipitates out of the meditation. And it's where both conscious and unconscious awareness of the connection and the union with their source. So it's like every part of you consciously and unconsciously knows that you're like this divine spiritual being connected, one with everything, yada, yada, yada. And so today we're going to just be starting off with the first limb, the yamas, and the first of the yamas, which is called, well, first I'll go through what the yamas are, basically. So the yamas make up our ethical disciplines, our moral obligations to self, to other, and we begin practicing the yamas on our mat with ourselves, and then we take them off the mat in life, and then eventually we start practicing them with others. And they include ahimsa, which is nonviolence. That's the one we're going to be focusing on today. Then we have satya, which is truthfulness, asteya, which is non-stealing, brahmacharya, which is like moderation or the right use of your energy, and aparigraha, which is non-attachment. And we're starting with the first one, ahimsa. And in Sanskrit, whenever there's like an A in front of it, the particle A in front of the word, it's usually the negative. And himsa is the Sanskrit word for violence. So ahimsa means non-violence. But Sanskrit is more about, like, their words and their language is more about vibration. So it's not just like, oh, non-violence in the typical sense. It's about that whole vibration of non-violence. And of course, there's, the obvious ways of not physically harming or hurting any living creature, from yourself to a fly on the wall, that's the belief anyway. But ahimsa goes so much beyond just not doing something, but it's having that active love and compassion for yourself, for others, for all living things. You have that love and compassion for them. And it's about upholding complete harmlessness in all of your thoughts, your words, your actions with yourself and others, so do no harm, basically. And practicing ahimsa means that we aim to see all things through the lens of love. And when you see things through the lens of love, it leads to abhaya, which is freedom from fear, and akrodha, which is freedom from anger. Because when we choose to see things through the lens of love, fear and anger can't coexist there. And to start this process, we begin practicing ahimsa with ourselves on our mats. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And this looks like choosing to honor and respect your own body and your own limitations or your own abilities in practicing the asanas. And instead of pushing yourself to try and get that perfect pose, or because that's what I'm doing, so you think it's what you're supposed to be doing, you're honoring and listening to your body. And I say this all the time, but yoga is really a personal practice. And I'm here to guide you and help you if you have any questions or anything, or uncertainties, or you want to work on something. But the asanas I choose are always just suggestions. And if you feel that coming to your mat and laying in savasana for 45 minutes is what your body needs today, then that's exactly what you do. And your body always knows what's best more than your brain. And ahimsa is about, like, it's not just, oh, I don't want to do that, I'm tired. You make a sincere effort to do what you can, but it's not pushing yourself to the brink of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual burnout. And instead, you're just honoring what your body needs. Ahimsa is noticing your thoughts as they come up when you're practicing and looking at them with compassion and reminding yourself that, when those thoughts of negativity, like, oh, you're just being lazy, or, oh, you just don't want to do that, like, approaching them with love and compassion and being like, no, like, this is honestly what I think my body needs right now. And that's something I'm doing good for myself. I'm honoring my body. So you literally have to sometimes talk back to those thoughts. And if your body feels like it needs rest, that's what it gets, because your body knows better than your brain all the time. And so as we're moving through practice, just notice how each pose makes you feel. And if something's not serving you, just remove it and come to down dog, go to child's pose instead of trying to force yourself. But also notice when it is a limiting belief, and when you're just thinking like, oh, I'm not strong enough, I'm not flexible enough, I can't do that, try. Notice that and eventually, like, just have the discernment to know the difference. So when it's a limiting belief telling you, oh, you're not strong enough, to something your body is actually saying, like, no, not today, I can't handle that. And as long as we apply compassion and love to all of these parts of ourselves that we think are broken, or we think need healing, or feel uncertain, or we don't know, if we come at them with love and compassion, that just allows of healing from the limiting beliefs, and you can eventually let them go. Buddha believed that if we truly loved ourselves, then we can never hurt another, because to truly love oneself, is to know that we're all one. And so if you harm others, you're only harming yourself too. And the key to really beginning to truly love yourself, once you get to that place, then it just sort of emanates out of you. And practicing ahimsa and going through the yamas and the yamas get you to a place that you can truly love yourself and accept yourself, and as you are, where you are, wherever that is. And that's what yoga is really about. It's like a path to self-love and all that stuff. So with that said, If you guys have any blocks, or if you have pillows or a strap, you know, any props you have are always welcome. Those might be a little helpful today. I always like to have blocks because they do get helpful when you're doing some stuff. And your water. I also have tea because I was like 7 drinks. And I'm just going to hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I think there was just some technical difficulties just with the new year. So people are probably watching this on the recording, and I'm just gonna get the music going. Get it straight real quick. Okay. So just come to a comfortable cross-legged position on your mat. And we're just going to kind of just sit and meditate on what ahimsa means to you for a moment. So just take a couple deep breaths. Inhale in. Exhale out. And just think about what practicing nonviolence or practicing love and compassion towards yourself on your mat here today, what that can do for you. Now we're going to take one inhale in, raise your arms up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. It's always nice to start incorporating pranayama into your yoga practice if possible, just because it really does have so many great benefits. And so today we're going to work on heart opening pranayama. And we're just going to bring our fingertips to our shoulders and bring your elbows out to the side so they're like at shoulder length. You're going to inhale through your nose to the left, and then exhale through the nose to the right. So inhale, exhale. And back to center. Now we're going to go to the other side. So inhale to the right, exhale to the left. You could go at your own pace too. You go faster or slower. Come back to center. Now we're going to come over to our knees, and just coming into our thunderbolt position. And if you have if your knees give you trouble, or if you ever have they just bother you a little bit, it's always nice to put a pillow, or you could roll up your mat a little bit, or you could roll up a towel and just place it in between your knees just to give it a little bit more cushion so there's not so much compression going down on your knee joint. Just sit back on your heels. Inhale your arms up. And as you exhale, bring your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you, and twist. Keeping your spine straight, your chest lifted. Taking a couple breaths here. Through the nose. Through the nose. Next, inhale, raise your arms up. Inhale. And exhale the other side, left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. And same thing, make sure your spine is straight. You want your shoulders still stacked above your hips. Just looking over your right shoulder. And back to center. Now interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, bring your forehead to your mat. Point your hands towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Just getting a nice shoulder stretch in there. And for a little more, we're going to just come up onto our knees. So we're rolling onto the crown of your head, just kind of giving your neck a little stretch. Trying to bring your hands down towards your mat. Only going as far as feels good. So if this doesn't feel good for you, don't do it. Love and compassion. Practicing ahimsa. And then just tuck your toes and just bring yourself back up onto your knees, onto your toes now. Up. And release your hands. Now we're just sitting on our toes, and your toes are often part of your body. We don't stretch that much. But just see if it feels good to just kind of balance and stretching them back and forth. And really, we forget about our toes, but we use them all the time. So stretching them really does make a difference. Now come down, bring your heels towards your mat. And just wrap your left arm around your knees and your right arm. And just coming into what's called the cosmic egg. So you're really just hugging your body in. If you want to close your eyes and bring your forehead towards your knees, really tucking yourself, loving yourself as much as feels comfortable. If you want to come down onto your sit bones and bring your feet up. And then just come back onto heels. Bring your hands down to your side, coming onto your knees. Bringing your big toes to touch and your knees out to the edges of your mats. Just sit back between your heels. Walk your hands forward into your wide-legged child's pose. Just really push your sit bones back onto your heels, feeling that stretch in your lower back. And in your hips. Again, if this doesn't feel good for you, you could always put a towel or blankets or whatever in between your knees. Next inhale, we're gonna walk our hands over to the left. So bring your right hand on top of your left hand. Just taking an inhale in and exhale. And that stretch in your side body. Next inhale, walk your hands back through center. And as you exhale, walk your hands over to the right. Bringing your left hand on top of your right. Again, breathing into that side body. Inhale deep in. And exhale. Walk your hands back to center. We're going to come up into our tabletop position. So you can bring your knees in a little bit so they're about hip distance apart. And your hips are stacked over your knees. Your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. And we're just going to come into some cat-cows. So as you inhale, look up, bring your navel to your mat, arch your back, roll your shoulders back. Exhale. Tuck your tailbone, bring your navel to your spine, round your shoulders. Inhale, cow. And exhale. Inhale, we're just waking up your spine. You can go as fast or as slow. This feels good for you. It feels good to put a little more movement into it. Inhaling, exhaling. If you want to just go inside, side. And from here, we're going to come into our puppy pose. So this is a really good one. If you have any pillows, just put them underneath your chest right now, making sure our hips stay over our knees. Just going to walk our hands down to the end of our mat, bringing our chest down to your mat, either your chin or your forehead. It's a really good heart opener, shoulder stretch. Remember, only if it feels good for you, if it feels like something that you need, and just breathe through the discomfort. Exhale any tension. Inhale fresh air and oxygen. And exhale away any tension. And from there, we're just going to bring our hips forward, coming into our Cobra Pose. So you're just on your hands, your elbows are bent, just lifting your spine a little bit. And go as far as feels comfortable. If it feels more comfortable for you to be down here in Sphinx pose, you can stay in Sphinx pose or a low Cobra pose where you're just like this. But if it feels good, push up a little bit more. And just lift your chest up, look up at the ceiling. So push up onto your fingertips and extend your arms. Rolling your shoulders back, keeping your chest open. Release. And just bring your hands out just to like the edge of your mat and push up just on your hands with your elbows bent. We're going to look over our left shoulder. Just kind of twisting that lower back a little bit. So you're still keeping both of your hip bones on your mat, but just looking over your shoulder slightly. Your feet are about a little more than hip distance apart, a little at the edges of your mat. And inhale to center. And exhale to the other side. Just looking over your left shoulder. Your right shoulder, sorry. And back to center. Come back down. Just bring your forehead to your mat. Your hands are at your side. Come up onto your forearms. You're gonna bend your right leg. Grab onto the outside of your right ankle. And just, if this feels good, you can stay here. Or if you have a strap also, that could help just work on bringing your foot closer towards your glutes. If you want a little bit more, we're gonna practice our half bow. So inhale and lift up. So lift your chest up, push your foot up towards the ceiling. And release. We're going to do the other leg. So now bend that left leg, grab onto the outside of the left ankle with your left hand. And if this feels good, just work on bringing this in towards your back. So you want your hips squared on the mat, your shoulders are square. But if you want to try, and grab your ankle, and your next inhale, push up into half bow pose. So lifting your chest up, pushing your foot up towards the ceiling. And release. Now we're going to come into our full bow pose. So again, if you want to just work towards bringing your heels towards your glutes, that's great. You can grab onto your ankles, looking in front of you. Next inhale, push up. Each inhale, just try and push up a little bit more. It feels good to rock back and forth. And release down. Bring your big toes together to touch, your knees out wide, push back to your wide-legged child's pose. Just feel the release in your lower back. Or if it feels better to come into regular child's pose, bring your knees together and rock back and forth from side to side. And we're just going to come back up to our tabletop, and then up to our knees. We're going to come into our gate pose. So I'll just turn to show you. Just on your knees, just going to stick your right leg out to the side. So you're on the edge of your foot. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale. Hold over. Just getting that side stretch in your side body. And back up. Now turn onto the heel of your foot. So your hip is now open that way. Inhale that left arm up. Exhale. Hold over. So you're opened up to the side more. Open your hips. Inhale back up. Bring your left hand down to your mat. And reach that right arm up. It feels good to lift that right leg. So you stretch your arm up. Coming into like a half moon, modified half moon. And if it feels good to grab onto that ankle, coming into a modified sugar cane. And again, you can just do that modified side plank if this doesn't feel good. And bring that knee back in. Back through center. And exhale out the left leg. Same thing. Inhale it right arm up. Exhale over the side. Inhale back up. Turning onto the heel. That arm up. Exhale. Holding over, reaching for your toes, but keeping your body open, your chest open to the side. Inhale back up. Exhale that right hand down to the mat. Left arm up. This feels good, stay here. If you want to lift your leg, looking up at your left hand. Just breathe. You can bend that knee, grab onto that left foot, coming into your modified sugar cane pose. And release. Back down. Now we're going to come back into our tabletop position. Here, we're just going to tuck your toes. Just hover your shins, just activating your core a little bit. Just breathing. And releasing down. And now come and hover. And start pushing your chest towards your thighs. Kind of like you're going into a down dog. And see if you can bring your heels towards your mat. Keeping your chest, bring your chest and your sternum towards the mat. Broadening your shoulders. Feet are about hip distance apart. We're coming into our first down dog. So it feels good to just bend one leg and then the other leg. Just kind of working it out. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it through between your hands. Bring the left knee down to the mat. Turning your toes. Inhale into your first low lunge. Really pushing that left hip forward, but also tracking that right heel in towards your in body. We're going to interlace our hands behind our back. Lift your chest up, look up. And just breathe here, take a few deep breaths. Trying to reach your fists towards your left leg. And release, we're going to windmill our right arm to the back of our mat, our left arm forward, and our revolve low lunge. So really feeling that in our left hip flexor right now. You want to bring that right hand down towards the left leg. The left arm reaches up, looking up at your left fingertips. And back through center. Putting your hands on either side, and then we're going to coming into our half split, straighten that right leg, bringing our left hip on top of our left knee, flexing that right foot, inhaling your chest up, exhale, fold over. This is a really good one if you do have blocks. You can always bring them on the side to give you a little bit more stability, or a little more balance. And inhale, coming back into that low lunge, looking up. Exhale, half split again. Just gonna get a sip of water real quick. And coming back to our low lunge. Then we're gonna place your hands on the other side, coming up onto your toes, and just step back into your plank position. And then if you want, bring your knees down, chest, chin, and pull through to your upward dog. That's just kind of a modified chaturanga. If you want to try that. And lift your hips up to down dog again. You're gonna do the other side. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step it through between your hands. Bring that right knee down to your mat. Flipping your toes. Inhale, low lunge. Again, now we're feeling in that right hip flexor. That left heel should be tracking in towards the inner thigh. Interlace your hands behind your back. Bringing your fist towards your right leg. Lifting your chest up. One more deep breath in. Exhale out. And windmill our left arm to the back of our mat, right arm to the front, to our revolved low lunge. And bring that left hand towards that right leg, lifting that right arm up. Looking up at your right fingertips. Now coming back to your low lunge. Exhale, straighten that leg. Flexing the foot, coming into your half split. Another side, keeping your spine straight and your chest lifted. And back to your low lunge. Just feeling that that right hip flexor now. And exhale again into your half splits. Really just keeping your spine straight as you fold over. So you don't want to round yourself. You want to keep your spine straight, bringing your sternum towards your leg. Coming into your low lunge. Framing your foot, tucking your toes, stepping back to our plank. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale your upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift that right leg up into our three-legged dog. You still want your hips to be square, your shoulders square, just lifting your leg. And exhale, step through between your hands. Bringing that back left foot down, like a 30 to a 45-degree angle. Whatever is comfortable for you so that your hips are comfortable being square towards the top of your mat. Whether that's 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 35. Inhale, your hands up, so your shoulders are above your hips, in line. Your right knee is checking over your right ankle, and that back foot is down on an angle. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold down, bringing your right shoulder towards the inside of your right knee. Just breathing, keeping your hips square, just stretching your shoulders. And coming back up into your warrior one. And now we're going to wrap our left arm underneath our right arm. So we have eagle arms on the left side. And from here, we're just going to come up, lift that left leg up, and wrap it around into whatever variation of eagle works for you. If it's just bringing it on the other side of your foot, that's great for today. You can wrap your knee, just not hooking your foot. It's good if you can hook your foot all the way. Come into whatever variation of eagle you need. Again, focusing on that drishti point. If you come out, you can always come back in. Next, inhale, release. Now shoot that left leg back, coming into your warrior three with eagle arms. So coming into a T position, focusing on the drishti. Have your foot flexed or pointed. And release your hands. And try and lift that left leg up a little bit more into a standing split. You want to make sure your hips are still square. And release, push this left leg back, coming down into our lunge. And bring that left foot back down into your warrior one. Then windmill your hands open, bring that back left foot. So it's almost parallel with the back of your mat, opening your hips up to the side, looking over your right fingertips. That right knee is still over that right ankle. Inhale, lift that right arm up. This left arm reaches behind you, your reverse warrior. And just breathe. Inhale back up and exhale, bring your elbow to your knee, or you could bring your hand to a block on the inside, whichever, or bring it down to the inside of your right foot. Reach that left arm up and over into your extended side angle. So opened up to the side, looking at your left fingertips. Pushing that right hip open with your right arm. And lift back up to your warrior two. Straightening that left leg. You can adjust yourself if you need. Push the hips out to the left. Bring your right hand down to the inside, either to your calf or to the inside of the right foot. Or if you want to grab the right big toe. Looking up your left fingertips into your triangle pose. We're still opened up to the side. Our hips are open. Our chest is open, we're looking at our fingertips. And come back up. Bend that right leg, turn your hips, so we're coming into our runner's lunge again. And step back into your plank pose. We're just gonna come down onto our forearms, into our forearm plank. And if this is too much for you, you can always come onto your knees too and do a modified plank, whatever feels good. Just taking a few deep breaths here. And release your belly down to your mat. Kind of moving your hips forward, rolling your shoulders back, coming into a Sphinx pose. Just letting your body rest here. Keeping your chest open, not arching your back. Now coming up onto your hands, into our Cobra Pose, or if you want your full up dog. And we're gonna lift our hips, tuck your toes, and come into your down dog again. We're gonna do the other side. So inhale that left leg up into your three-legged dog. Again, you still want your hips to be square. You still want your sternum coming towards your mat, your shoulders rounding. And exhale, step it through between your hands. Bring that right foot down at a 45 or 30-degree angle. Up into your warrior one. I'm gonna put my hair up for a second. Just bothering me. Sorry about that. Okay, so our hips are square towards the front of your mat. Shoulders are above your hips. In our warrior one, interlace your hands behind your back. Reach your fists towards your leg, towards the mat, lifting your chest up. Exhale, fold down, bringing your left shoulder toward the inside of your left knee in our humble warrior. Just breathing. Coming back up, inhale, arms overhead. Ujjayi breath is always really helpful when you're trying to breathe through discomfort also. That's just that audible inhale and exhale. So I don't know if you can hear me, but kind of like you're fogging a window, but your mouth is closed. Now I'm just gonna quickly here one more time. It's so fluffy. Okay, sorry about that. Back into our warrior one. Now we're gonna bring our right arm underneath our left in our eagle arms. And as we step forward, bringing this right leg up, you can wrap it around whatever form that works for you, whether it's just like this, over the knees, or if you can wrap. Tuck the whole foot. Just sit down into whatever variation of eagle you have. Focusing on your drishti. One more breath in. Exhale out. Inhale deep, inhale in. Lift up. And just send that right leg back into your warrior three with eagle arms. Again, if you can't bring your foot off the mat yet, that's totally fine. Just bring it back and just kind of play with lifting it. You can keep that left leg bent until you get there. If you come up, come out of it, that's totally fine. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift that right leg up a little bit more. If you can, maybe grab your left ankle with both of your hands. And step back. Coming back into your warrior one. Windmill your hands open into your warrior two. Step back, right foot comes almost parallel with the back of your mat. The left foot is still pointing towards the top, looking over your left fingertips. Inhale, reach that right arm behind your back towards your leg, left arm up and over, a reverse warrior. And exhale, bring that left hand down besides the left foot, the right arm up and over, extended side angle on the other side. And come back up, straightening out that left leg, shins out to the right, down into our triangle. Lift back up. Now, pivot so both of your feet are facing the back of your mat. Interlace your hands behind your back and fold down to a wide-legged forward fold. Trying to bring your fists towards your mat. And inhale, back up. Now we're just going to pivot back over to our runner's lunge on the other side. Exhale, step that foot back, coming into our plank position. Come down onto the forearms one more time. Just take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale in. And exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. And exhale. Lower belly down. Coming into your Sphinx pose or your Cobra Pose. Whatever feels good. Looking up. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips coming into our down dog. Now just slowly walk your feet in towards your hands. Keeping your feet about hip distance apart. Just let your body hang. Feels good. Grab opposite elbows. Coming into Ragdoll. Sway side to side. Release your fingertips so that on the outside of your foot. And just slowly roll your body up. Your fingertips go on the side of your body. Slowly to the top, finally rounding your shoulders over. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, just a slight back bend, looking back. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold one more time. And roll yourself back up. Extremely slow spinal rolls, just touching your body. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit back into chair. So you're just going to sit like you're sitting in a chair, obviously. You want your heels to come above your toes. So only go as far as feels comfortable for you. Then we're going to bring our hands to heart center. And we're going to work on a twist. So bringing this left elbow towards the right knee and twisting over towards the right. I'm going to make sure you're checking that right left hip back. So you're staying square. Inhale, on your next exhale, step it back into our revolved lunge. Twisting to the side. Next inhale, lift your arms up to our high lunge. And exhale, step forward. We're gonna come into tree. So bring this left foot up to either the inside of your calf or your thigh. Coming into our tree pose. So your hands could be overhead. They could be at heart center. Whatever feels good for you. Focusing on that drishti point. Next, inhale without dropping your foot. Just try and bring your knee into your chest. Exhale as you bring it closer in. Just focusing on that balance. You can grab onto your big toe or your foot with both of your hands. And just try and balance here. You can start to try and push it out a little bit. As far as feels good for you. And release your hands. Leave your leg and just slowly bring it down and push it back. So we come back to our high lunge. And now framing your foot, step the right leg back. Coming onto our right hand in our right side plank. So lifting our hips up, looking at your left fingertips. You want to reach that left arm over. Now bringing this left foot, just step it slightly behind you, pushing your hips up more into your wild thing. And release back to regular plank. Exhale down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Just stay there for a second. I'm just going to open my window a little bit. So from our down dog. Oh, look, she's so good at down dog. Look up. Slowly walk your feet towards your hands again. And grab opposite elbows. And squeeze down. Sorry, guys. Grab opposite elbows coming into our ragdoll on this side. This side. Now bringing your fingertips to the sides of your bodies, just slowly. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll yourself up. You rise to the top. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale to a slight back bend. Looking at your fingertips. And fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Slowly roll yourself up again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit into your chair pose. Hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the other side. So bring the right elbow towards the left knee, checking that right hip back to make sure they're still square. Another deep breath in. Exhale out. And step that right leg back into our twisted lunge. Inhale, just into your high lunge, straight. So you really want to push that right hip down as much as you can. Inhale, lifting up. Bring that right foot to the inside of the calf, the inside of your thigh. into our tree pose. Your hands could be at heart center or overhead, whatever feels good. Next, inhale without bringing your foot to the ground, your right knee into your chest. Exhale, hug it in a little bit closer. Now same thing, grab the bottom of your foot and just work on balancing here. Or if you can, start to slowly straighten that right leg out. Release your hands. Slowly bring it back into our high lunge. Exhale, frame the foot. Step right back into your plank and come over onto the left side, to our left side plank. You could stay here, or if you want to reach that right arm, lifting the hips a little bit more. Also, you can always move your foot in front of you, behind you for a little more balance, or come onto this knee, whatever feels good. And just bring that right foot, and it's just right behind you. Lift your hips a little bit, coming into our wild thing on the other side. Exhale, back over to your plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Walk our hands forward. Our feet towards our hands one more time. And slowly roll your body up again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit back like you're going into chair. And just keep going closer and closer to your mat. And your sit bones closer and closer. And coming up into our boat pose. So you can leave your feet on the ground and just work on here if that feels good. If you want to bring them up, have your legs bent a little bit. Or you can straighten your legs out and come into the full boat. Whatever feels good for you today with love and compassion. Practicing ahimsa. It's that fine line between pushing yourself and giving yourself that time and rest and whatever it needs. Release down. And your feet, the soles of your feet to your mat. Your hands underneath your shoulders with your fingertips pointing towards your feet. Inhale, lift up into our reverse tabletop. Just pushing those hips up. Let your head fall back. Trying to keep your hips level, like a flat table. And release. We're going to come on to our knees, into our thunderbolt. Oh, let's try our camel. So just lifting up onto our knees like this. Bring your hands to the small of your back. Just pointing up, trying to bring your elbows to touch, basically. Just pushing your hips forward, lifting your chest up. If that feels good, reach that right arm up towards the ceiling and reach it back towards your heel. Same thing with your left arm. And back towards your heel. Also, if you have blocks are really good for camel. You can just put them right by your heels. And instead of reaching back for your heels, you reach back for the blocks. And it's a lot easier while you're working your way up there. This feels good. We can bring that left foot up and reach that right arm, that left hand to our right foot, sorry. That right arm up and back. Modified camel pose. We're also stretching our hip flexors. And back to center. And do the other one. Let's bring that right foot to the mat. Reach that right arm Right hand back towards the left foot, left arm up. Pushing the hip forward still. Release. And then just push back into your wide-legged child's pose, just to counteract that. Again, just whatever feels good. If child's pose doesn't feel good for you, don't do it. It always releases my lower back. Forward to seating. Come onto our sit bones. Bring your feet flat on the floor and slowly lower yourself down to your mat. We're just going to do our bridge. Swing your hands by your side, your feet close to your glutes. Inhale, push your hips up. Try and bring your shoulder blades together. If you want to interlace your hands underneath, sometimes that gives a little more stability. Not crunching your neck, looking for the back ceiling. Hips fire a little bit more. Release. Bring your knees into your chest. And we'll do one more, or if you want to go into your full wheel pose, you could do that. Wheel pose, bring your hands by your ears, feet close to your glutes. Inhale, lift up. Release down, bringing your knees into your chest. And just rocking back and forth, or side to side, just massaging the spine. And bring your feet down to your mat. They're flat on the mat. Bring your left foot on top of your right ankle. Reach that right leg up and grab your right knee behind. Just clasp the hands and bring it in closer towards you. It's like a reverse pigeon or reverse figure four. Just stretching the outside of that left hip. Also stretching this right leg. Bringing it in closer. Release to the other side. The right foot on top of the left knee. Lift the left leg up, clasp your hands behind the knee. And just pull it in closer towards your body. Release both of your legs down. Come up through to a sitting position. So your legs are out straight in front of you. We're coming into our staff pose. So your feet are flexed. Your shoulders are over your hips. Your feet are out straight and about hip distance apart. Flex. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold over. Bringing your sternum down to your legs. Maybe eventually bringing your forehead down, but you don't want to round your back. You want to keep your spine straight and your chest lifted to really feel the most in this hamstring stretch. If you have some straps are always good for stretches. So you could just put them around your feet. And as you inhale, lift up. Exhale, just try and pull yourself in closer. You'll get closer and closer each time. And inhale back up. And then we're going to come into a modified half Lord of the Fishes pose. We're going to bring that left foot to the outside of the right thigh. And just hug that left knee in towards your chest as we twist to the left. And if that feels good, you can also hook that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Twist a little bit more. Keeping that chest lifted. That spine straight. And release. And now we're going to bring that left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And just with our hips square towards the front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold down, fold over. Inhale, back up. We're going to open up to the side, so still leaving that left leg tucked in, kind of like a half butterfly. But now inhale that left arm up, reaching over, more an open side stretch. Back up. We're going to do the other side now. So bring the right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Hug that right knee in towards your chest as we turn to the right. Or if it feels good, hook your left elbow. Twist. Release. Now we're going to bring the right foot to the inside of the left foot. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Now back up, opening the hips up again. Inhale that right arm up. Exhale, fold over. Back up. Just coming in, bringing both of the soles of your feet to touch into our butterfly pose. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold over, bring your sternum towards your feet. You can bring your hands out in front of you. Come back up. Staying in your butterfly, just going to slowly lower down. If you want to bring, sometimes having a block underneath your back as you fall back feels really good. Just stay there. Release your legs out straight in front of you. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hold it down towards the left. Right arm out to the side, looking over your right fingertips. The other leg, the left knee into your chest. Bring it down towards the left and towards the right. Release both of your legs down. You slowly just settle into your Savasana. If you want to bring the soles of your feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana again, you're more than welcome to. I love that position myself. Just thank your body for all it's given you today, and thank it for supporting you and honoring it and nourishing it. Slowly just let the tension fade away. You can stay in Savasana for as long as you want today. 10 to 15 minutes is usually recommended. But of course, if you have to get up, get up. But just thank yourself and thank you for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's class. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at Samcam Yoga. I'm always happy to help, or you can also schedule a one-on-one with me. So hope you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for coming. Bye.